Hey guys, Tom here. Welcome back to the Underground, the new and improved Underground. I hope you saw the video where I unveiled this beautiful thing we created here over the course of several months. And if you haven't, check it out. It's the last video. Today is not, well, I was going to say it's not a drinking day, but cheers to GPU and to you guys for joining me. What today is I want to talk to you about the next big thing going on here at the Grantham Pub Underground. And that is this right here, the classic cocktail clash. I touched on it briefly in the grand opening video. If you know anything about me, I don't want to say nostalgic, but I'm like an old school type of guy. I'm an older guy, in case you didn't know. And when I haven't actively tended bar in many years, but when I did, we made a lot of the old school, what I call old school classics. And I thought it'd be really cool to see which one is the best. And what I'm gonna do is, it's going to run like bracket style. There's going to be 4 brackets. I'll get into that in a minute. And we're going to have a match up until we get down to the final drink to see who is the best. And I want you guys to help me. I'm going to go over the brackets, what's in them. And then if you guys think I missed any, I'm talking old school. We're not going to be doing things that are popular today that are just probably only within 10 or 15 years old or so. I'm going back to turn of the last, not this 20s, the 2000s, but the turn of the 1900s, the roaring 20s, the Depression, the 50s, 60s, 70s. That's where I'm going with these. So let's get into it because I got a lot to discuss. Like I said, there's going to be 4 brackets. They look like this. They're not going to be exactly like this. And they're going to have, the 4 brackets are, I decided I would break them up into categories. I have to warn you ahead of time. I am not going to get every drink. If I got every old school drink, we'd be here forever. Not that that's a bad thing. Cheers again. But I just went through and did some that I thought belonged on this list. Excuse me. A lot of them we've already made over the course of however long we've been doing this. So let's start right off. The first bracket is the fruity bracket. Now I call it the fruity bracket because it's more fruit forward flavors. Try saying that 4 times fast. It's got, it's going to have juices in it and whatnot, and that's why I call it the fruity bracket. Again, we go over these, and if there's something on here that you think totally doesn't belong, or something you think I missed, let me know. But it's got to be classic, and if you tell me something you think I missed, you also have to tell me what you would take off. Okay, so first, I thought I would seed them, like they do in the college basketball tournament. I have 4 number 1 seeds in my head, what I think they are, and I seeded them in my mind. But I'm thinking maybe I'll just do a random draw. I think that would be more fair. Because I also thought maybe I would match up ones that I thought were similar and then eliminate them that way. So we'll see. You guys are going to help me out and let me know what you think. So in the fruity bracket, the 8 drinks are daiquiri, plain daiquiri. We've made daiquiris before. Singapore Sling. That I used to make a ton of those back in the 80s. A Mai Tai, we've made that before. A good old-fashioned sea breeze, a whiskey sour, a melon ball, a Martinez, which is a little different to this, and a Tom Collins. Tom Collins, classic cocktail, in my opinion. Next, we have the creamy bracket. These are drinks that are, as the title would imply, creamy. That doesn't necessarily mean they have dairy in them. They could be creamy just, you'll see as we go through. It could be because it's like a flip or something like that that's foamed or creamed with egg white. So the creamy bracket 8 are White Russian, Pink Squirrel. I wanted to put Pink Squirrel in here because when I was learning, I taught myself how to 10 bar. I just got a book and I memorized a bunch of stuff, and I always remember Pink Squirrel because squirrels like nuts, and it would have creamed almond in it, which is nut based, so whatever. But that might have to be replaced because I don't know if I have creamed almond, and I don't know that I want to buy a bottle of it just for one drink in this competition. It's probably not going to last through the round one. So we'll see. If I can come up with another one, I'll let you know. Grasshopper, classic. Milk Punch, a great southern, I think we may have done Milk Punch at one point. Brandy Alexander. I know we've done Brandy Alexander because I told you a story about my mother. Clover Club. That's, I think Clover Club is one of the ones that's creamed with the egg white. I know Gin Fizz is. And then finally, Pina Colada. Doesn't have cream in the perfect sense, but it has coconut cream. Next is citrusy. These are drinks that are citrus forward, lemon, lime, that type of thing. Margarita. We've obviously had to have made margaritas here at some point along the line. A Gimlet, classic cocktail. Cosmopolitan, that's probably, I forget how far that dates back, but that's probably one of the newer of the old school classics. I wasn't going to put it on here because I think that's more like, it came to fame more in like the 90s, 2000s with that TV show, but for now it's on here. Moscow Mule, we've made those before. Great drink. Dark and Stormy. Another great drink. It's one of my favorites. That's the Ice Machine. A Paloma. That's grapefruit citrus. A Caipirinha. I forget how to say it. Is it Caipirinha? The Brazilian drink you make with cachaça. We've done that. Well, let's let the ice fill up first. I'll have a drink while the ice is filling up. Oh, there it goes. And then finally, a mojito. Hopefully all my mint got overgrown and died. I have some new mint coming. Hopefully I'll be able to use that. But if not, I might have to break down and go to the store, which I hope not. And then finally, this is the great bracket, in my opinion. I'm calling it the boozy bracket. And that's because it is spirit forward. There's not a lot. It's not muddied up with a lot of mixers and such. So this one is going to be good. Obviously, I'll go back and tell you what the other number one seeds are, but the number one seed, if we're doing seeds in this bracket, is going to be the Old Fashioned, in my opinion, the cocktail of all cocktails. First cocktail I ever made here. This was not even when it was GPU. This was back when I was making them doing Friday happy hours on my home improvement channel, just for a break. But I think that is the quintessential classic cocktail. And the cool thing about this, when we get to these, we'll probably do obviously 2 drinks an episode, but if we have time, 4. But I want to get into like the history and whatnot, where these drinks came from, because that stuff interests me. I think it's really cool. And then the Negroni. After Negroni, we have Sazerac, classic martini, a sidecar, another drink that I have not made in ages, a mint julep, and finally a Manhattan. And the other drink that's going to be in this boozy bracket, if you may have noticed, I only mentioned 7 things. it's just like the tournament. They have a play in. We're going to have a drink in, because in the boozy bracket, the spirit forward bracket, there are a ton that I really just couldn't eliminate. So we have a drink in bracket, and this is set up the way it's going to be. There's 5 drinks. There's going to be 4, and then 1 gets a bye. So the 4 drinks that are playing for the right in the drink in bracket are Godfather. Made a lot of Godfathers. I think that's a cool drink. I think we made one on here before. The Americano. That's another cool drink that we'll talk about. A Stinger, and finally a Boulevardier. Boulevardier. Now the Americano and the Boulevardier, they're going to go up against each other because they're very similar. They have kind of like the same origin. So I wanted to put them up against one another to see which one is better. I've never had either one. I've never made either one. I've never even had the stuff to make either one. But we're going to do it in this competition because I think they're classic drinks. They have a long history, and I think they belong here. So after those 4s play off, we'll go 4, then 2, and then they'll go. And the winner of those 4 will go up against good old fashioned, not good old fashioned, but the good old classic Long Island iced tea. And then we'll go back. I don't know how we'll match them up after that, if we'll reseed, or see, I don't know if we're doing seedings yet, but that's how it's going to go. So tell me what you think. Is that the way to do it? Should we just do random draw? Should we see? Oh, I never told you what the other number 1 seeds are if we do seeding. So in the boozy bracket, obviously old fashioned. In the citrusy bracket, I went margarita for the number 1 seed. I think it belongs there. In the creamy bracket, it's got to be White Russian. And then finally in the fruity bracket of what I have, I went daiquiri, like a plain daiquiri, which I think is the right call there. But again, you tell me if I'm wrong, if I missed something. So there's a ton of drinks that aren't on this list. Excuse me. A ton of drinks that aren't on this list that are classic drinks that I used to make various times back in the day. Now we have Tom Collins. Obviously there's all kind of different Collins you can have. You can have John Collins, is it John? Is it just Tom Collins and John Collins? Whatever. Sours, whiskey sour, the classic. So we're not going to have the amaretto sour. We're not going to have anything else you can be sour. What else is not going to be on here? A cool drink from back in the day that I didn't put on here, a Jack Rose. Have you ever had a Jack Rose? That's a good drink. Singapore Sling we have. We do not have, geez, what's the other one? It's kind of like a Singapore Sling. I can't think of it. As soon as if I think of it, I'll put it up here. There was other ones that I thought of that I used to make that aren't going to be on. Oh, another thing, obviously, there's no like champagne cocktail, Kier, Bellini, those type of things are not on here. Yes, they're cocktails. Yes, they're classic, but I don't think they have their place, but I don't think it's here. So what else is not on here? I have a whole list of drinks that were mimosa, obviously. Oh, Gimlet's on here. Gibson is not on here because we have Martini. Gibson is French 75, another sparkly drink. Sazarek's on here. Oh, Bloody Mary's not on here. We made Bloody Marys before. It's just, I don't know. Pim's Cup is not on here. Aperol Spritz is not on here. So those type of, originally at one point I thought about having a fizzy category, which all those drinks would have fit. But Irish coffee, we're not doing any hot drinks. Grasshopper, Brandy Alexander, Rum Runner. That goes back to the 50s, but that's in the fruity. I have to see if something gets bumped off. Maybe Rum Runner could find its way on there. Godfather, Godmother is not on there. They're similar. Daiquiri, you have whiskey sour, Martinez. Pisco sour. That goes back to the teens and 20s of the 1900s. That's I don't have Pisco. That's why it's not on there. The Last Word. That goes back to 1915. Like, it's got a lot of weird stuff that it's just not practical for me to have here. Like green chartreuse. Yeah, like I'm gonna have that. Americano, Bellini, I said already. Singapore Sling, Kier, Pink Squirrel. Pink Lady, that's another one that's not on there. See, that's how you memorize the difference. Pink Lady, Pink Squirrel. Squirrels like nuts. Pink Lady is just like gin, grenadine, I think cream or egg white, one of the two. I forget, it's been a while. Black Velvet, that's another cool drink. See, that's another sparkly drink. That's it, Melon Ball, again. That's it. So, what do you think? Talk to me. I think it's going to be fun. I've rambled on far enough. Otherwise, I'd probably get into it right now. The first, what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to do the drink-in round, and then we'll move on to the main category. So make sure you come back. If it's your first time here, you came at a great time. Subscribe so you see all this craziness that is going to explode here very shortly, and we will have a lot of fun. I know it's going to be fun. There's no doubt in my mind. So that's it. Subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified when we're doing it. Come see us again and again. If you want, there's a lot of the classics I've already made. So when they come up, we're not necessarily going to talk a lot about them because we've done that before, but I'll always have a link to that episode so you can see it and know what we're doing. So make sure you come back. Plenty of room here at the bar. Come back, join us. It'll be fun. If you like, we have a tip cup down below. You can leave us a tip. Helps us out a lot. Don't have to. Just you being here and sharing some time with us is great. We'll be drinking a lot of cool drinks. Lisa will come by. We'll hang out. Who knows who might drop by the Grantham Pub Underground for this classic cocktail clash. So, until I see you right back here the next time, I'll save a seat at the bar for you. Cheers.